So welcome back to Arise Africa. You're with me, Michael Mwikamba, and we're now in my favorite segment, I hope it's yours too, the interview segment, where we get intimate and we get to know about a certain artist, a poet, and a creative. We just know about our guest. And today in studio, I'm joined by the amazing Rick's Poet. He has been mentioned before by a number of previous artists who've been around, and they have told me that he is one of their mentors. So today we meet Rick's Poet. And let him introduce himself. Rick Poet, karibu, Arise Africa.
Thank you.
Enjoy my coffee. It will soon graduate to something else. And you know, coffee and other things like in karibu.
Asante.
So if you can tell the viewers back at home who Rick's Poet is and, you know, just more about you, what kind of poetry do you do if you do poetry? Okay. Yes, who is Rick's Poet in your own words?
My official name is Eric Otieno.
Yes.
I'm a poet by life.
Mm-hmm.
And I love art very much, passionately.
Mm-hmm.
It probably covers all aspects of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I pretty much enjoy everything that deals with poetry and imagery and metaphors and everything.
Just poetry.
Just poetry.
So what kind of poetry do you do? And yeah, you know, what kind of poetry do you do, if you can break that down for us? Because I've met artists before. They've told me they've done spoken word, they've done poem. I've just met all these other elements of poetry since we started this segment. What, if you can please expand it for us, what kind of poetry do you do?
I like to term poetry as soul poetry. Poetry that speaks to the soul.
Nice.
Well, I want to imagine all poems speak to the soul, but I love writing to get in touch with people's deepest points. Yeah. And my sort of writing sometimes is probably rooted to the life I've been through and my experiences. I always believe that when you sit down to write, you always have an attachment to what you're creating.
Exactly.
And in the process, you also get in touch with so many other people out there whom you've never probably met.
Okay.
And creation of writing or any other form of art is usually saying things that have not been said before, and creating images in people's minds and hearts that haven't been created by any other people or person out there. And the goal really is to create new experiences as to have, you know, people have a better life or feel better about themselves or, you know, change something in society or around an environment. And probably, you know, for any artist or a poet out there, the challenge always is to have good work put out there for, you know, anybody to go through it.
And if you can please, you've told us you do soul poetry that speaks to your soul. What inspires your writing? What inspires that soul poetry?
I get that question a lot.
Exactly.
And I tell people I'm inspired by everything. It could be something as small as a coin dropping in a matatu to why people run when it's raining in town.
While covering only the head.
Why can't we just walk in the rain?
While covering only the head.
Yeah, imagine like, so many things, like, you know, the coffee we are having, why you had to wear pink today.
And this is red.
Okay.
Just checked.
Yeah, I wouldn't even argue about that. So many things. I like listening to silent things. Poets or writers or creators or creatives, are very attentive people. And for me, I always have to listen and watch and interpret or internalize so many things that go on around me or inside me. And bring them out in ways which people would never have imagined, you know. And sometimes you come up with a poem, and when somebody reads it, they see a perspective of something they'd never even imagined before. And I think there are so many ways of saying things that probably the wisdom the vastness of wisdom out here gives us room to always be creative in ways which nobody else has ever been.
Okay, so that is you're just getting to know Rick's poet, and we've known a lot of things. We've just discovered soul poetry. So we go on a short commercial break. We come back with more of Rick's poet.
Thank you.
Poetry, soul poetry.